So there's one thing that we always do in the morning. We have a split-second thought of exactly how our day is going to go based on the mood that we wake up in. Sometimes we have good days. A buddy of mine just said, man, I woke up wrong. And I was like, what does that mean exactly? What does it mean when you wake up wrong? Oh, well, you know, my alarm didn't go off at the right time, or my girlfriend dropped a bunch of books on my head while I was asleep. My REM cycle was thrown off, and I'm not feeling particularly great this morning. I, for one, I sometimes have mornings where I don't wake up and feel super motivated. And I really just felt like I wanted to kind of just touch on, obviously, what other people do to kind of get themselves going in the morning, whether you're a morning person, not a morning person. I am not a morning person at all. I have to literally, jumpstart myself with a series of routines that kind of gets me in like the zone. But that's something that, you kind of have to study yourself a little bit to really kind of get down and continually get the same performance out of yourself every morning, because not all mornings are built the same. So the way I kind of gone about doing it is positive triggers. So some mornings I have just all this energy, I hit the gym, I get the endorphins rolling, and all of a sudden I'm feeling super, super excited. I'm ready to go into the office, I'm ready to go do my thing. And other mornings I'm dragging my butt. Today outside is a little bit overcast. It was worse early in the morning, like 7 o'clock. And it's just like, man, it's just one of these days that I know I have a ton of stuff to do. The checklist is just a mile long, and I'm like, all right, well, how am I gonna get to that awesome like Monday Brett when I've got Wednesday not feeling excited Brett to deal with right now? If you can train your mind to have negative triggers for certain things, you can definitely have positive triggers. So you hear a song that reminds you of an ex and it puts you in a sad mood. If you hear a song that was playing at the veterinary hospital when you picked up your puppy, that's a positive trigger, that's a positive thought. So finding and identifying those things and recreating that scenario every morning is gonna go a long way to get the same performance out of you every single morning. For me personally, it always gonna start with the gym. I have to get up in the morning and I have to get down to the gym, which is, thank God, only 2 floors below me now. And I get those endorphins rolling. I only do 25 minutes of running on the treadmill, and then I've at least woken up enough to the point where I can kind of get my day started. From that point, I need to listen to podcasts. I love Self-Made Man, Cracked Podcast, This American Life. I love listening to other people's stories, and I love to kind of let that resonate a little bit and kind of get me to a really positive, excited place. Successful people such as Gary Vaynerchuk, he wakes up every morning, watches ESPN, Business Insider, gets his mind in the game. He chats with his insanely huge Twitter following. Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, he has coffee and a protein bar because those 2 things he really, really loves, and he believes that if he can train himself like a wild animal to have positive reinforcement, that he's going to do the same thing to himself. And that's what really gets him going. Very simple, but he found what works for him. Cheryl Backletter, the CEO of Popeyes, was really interesting. So she triggers her mood with music every morning, which reminds her of her family. So just like I said, you heard a song that either has a negative or a positive feeling attached to it. You have those triggers that you can constantly go to, and this doesn't have to be anything you have to find a song or something like that. Just make a playlist of stuff that really, puts you in a good mood. Hear all this talk about get up earlier than everyone else and get your day started. Doesn't make sense for everybody. I think you should just get up an hour earlier than you want to. So I want to get up at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna get myself up at 7 o'clock. That's gonna put me, ahead of the game for, I think, what makes me comfortable as a night owl, because I'm constantly staying up super late and I have to force myself to go to sleep sometimes. Working out is just an absolute must. I don't care who you are. You have to do some sort of endorphin releasing thing that gets you kind of moving in the morning. It doesn't have to necessarily be like, running on a treadmill or doing HIIT training or lifting weights. That's great if you can do that and work that into your schedule, but at least stretch out. Bend over and touch your toes, or do some lunges, or do something that kind of gets you out of the kind of like shrunken up, shriveled acorn that you become, every night while you're asleep and you wake up and you have a hard time and you're rubbing all the stuff out of your eyes. Have a mindset that is ready for triggering. So in this way, you can't be just completely dead-eyed and then like throw on a podcast and be like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm totally excited about the day. You need to kind of prep yourself. You need to get yourself to a place where you're awake enough, you've done some stretches, or you do your morning workout, or you walk your dog, or do whatever it is you have to do, and then put that trigger moment in a specific part of your morning and do it at the same time. Just like sleep works, where you wake up at the same time every day, which puts your body in the best rhythm to feel the best when you wake up. Have your trigger at the same time every day as well. And I'll just leave you with this thought. Just how would you act if you were the most successful version of yourself, or the millionaire version of yourself? What would your morning routine look like? Would it be, this kind of wandering around in self-loathing, or you'd be a lethargic type of person? No, you'd be getting out there, you'd be happy, positive, you'd be sipping your coffee at 6:30 in the morning, reading a newspaper, or watching CNN, or picking up, or whatever it is that you like to do in the morning, and you'd be taking your limo to your building that you own. That's what your life would look like. So manifest this, create this. You basically just need to get started on it, start making it part of your routine, and eventually everything else around you is going to kind of transform around the decisions that you're making. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. I gotta get to work. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out at theroot.us, and we'll see you next time. Peace.